Welcome to the second video for the mirror battle between myself and Usually Hapless. In this video I'm in command of the Fallschirmjäger and Hapless is commanding the Free French. I'm way behind Hapless in the video, so you may have already seen the result. The battle is a quick battle, so we have to make our own force selection, and we've agreed some pretty simple rules. No off-map mortars or arty, no TRPs, no pre-planned arty, and no air support. The last one is kind of a pointless rule because it's blowing a blizzard in the AO, and I'd question if a plane could see anything. The battle is a meeting engagement, and there are 3 objectives, all of which are mountain peaks that roll from the northwest of the map to the southeast. My goals are pretty simple: secure the terrain objectives and inflict as much damage on the enemy as possible. To do this, firstly I need to choose some soldiers. There is no restriction on armour, but the Fallschirmjäger only have access to Marders and some Schützenpanzerwagen, which are half-tracks. I've gone with 2 companies of Fallschirmjäger, 3 and 4 company, with 3 company being an infantry company and 4 are weapons. The order of battle is 3 company has 3 infantry platoons. Each platoon comprises of 3 infantry squads, and each squad has 12 men. Now oddly, 2 of my soldiers in every squad only appear to be equipped with a Walther P38. I watched this through the battle and it looks like they only carry a pistol, an added feature of combat mission, or maybe they're ammo carriers. Maybe not. Anyway, each squad carries 2 medium machine guns, either MG34s or MG42s, 3 MP40 machine guns and a mix of 5 rifles, the Kar98 and the G41 semi-automatic rifle, and of course the 2 pistoliers. Each platoon also has a command team, a 2IC team, and an organic element to the platoon is an 81mm mortar. All in all, not to be sniffed at. The company also has attached 1 medium mortar section with 2 81mm on-map mortars and a heavy machine gun section with 2 MG42s in the heavy machine gun configuration. Company 4 consists of 2 HMG platoons, each with 4 MG42s or 34s, again in the HMG configuration, and a mortar platoon with 4 81mm mortars. Also with the company are the various ammo bearers. For AT, well, the Marder is of little use against infantry because of the limited HE ammunition it carries, and its open cockpit configuration. It's also going to have limited movement in this terrain. So, I've assigned 2 75mm recoilless rifles. These look like little water cannon, kinda cute, however I can assure you they are not. I went against them in the Monte Cassino campaign, and they did a good job of knocking out Shermans. They shouldn't have any issue with the M5s of the Free French. I left the battalion's stats as standard, so they are a mix of veteran and crack soldiers who are pretty well led and highly motivated. I'd have rostered more soldiers if I'd dumbed them down, but I've gone as historic as possible. I guess I'm contradicting myself when we've pitted the Free French against the Fallschirmjäger, but hey. The crux is, I've got a lot of bang for my buck, plus every squad has 2 pistol-toting gangsters. Reviewing the terrain, I've already gone through a lot of the detail in the first video where I command the French, so I'm just going to point out the specific points relevant to the Fallschirmjäger. Obstacles, there's nothing of note because we are infantry. I didn't realise the recoilless rifles traverse the terrain in the same manner as tracked vehicles, so at the time I didn't put a lot of thought into picking my way through the maze that the terrain presents for vehicles. A major mistake for this match. I have 3 objectives: P388 on my left flank, P404 in the centre, and P373 on my right. P373 is easy to approach, and any attack by the French has to come over an exposed open terrain. My approach to P388 is similar. The French can quickly secure the high ground on the ridges to the left and right of my left avenue of approach, and despite the weather there is a risk that the valley on my left becomes a killing ground. The approach to the centre is in good defilade, and I can almost get to the crest before being visible. The negative side of that is it's an obvious choice of approach. From the Fallschirmjäger perspective, I consider there to be three key locations. Firstly, objective P373 and the ridge to the northeast. Secondly, the southern slopes of the mounting leading to P404. Third and final, the southeast ridgeline to the right of the centre objective P404. The peak and ridgeline to my left flank provides considerable overview of the valley and the French ridgeline. But it's exposed to French fire and I don't see a lot of possibilities to support securing this area. Cover and concealment on this terrain is basically provided by the lay of the land. There is little else other than a couple of low walls on my right flank. The snow is going to limit visibility somewhat, but it's still a good 200 metres, which provides a decent area of fire across most of the map from any high ground. Now, I scratched my head on this one. The open left flank gives room to manoeuvre, but it's exposed to the V ridgeline, which the French have plenty of time to set up on. I can try and dominate the ridges with area fire and mortars, but it seems an obvious approach. The centre behind P404 is a concealed route, and the ridgeline left of P373 provides a good firebase. This would give me suppressive fire for an attack up the right flank. I'd have to crest, but it would give me an opportunity to fire into Hapless's rear zone. For my battle plan, I decided to do something a little different. I'm going to abandon the left valley and objective P388 because I think it's a death trap. Instead, I'm going to try and push forward on my right, cover my left, and then try and wrap around the right flank, turning the front, a bit like a rugby scrum, to then push from west to east. It's a bit risky because I have to crest on the right and potentially fight against a reverse defence force. But if Hapless has spread his force across the entire front, I'm hoping I can bring enough firepower quickly enough to overwhelm him. Also, I need AT support to counter any M5s. My infantry won't have anything to touch his armour at range, hence I chose the recoilless rifles, because I thought they would be more mobile and less prone to bogging than Marders. 3rd and 4th companies are deployed spread across the kick-off zone. I have some HMGs from 4th company covering my left flank. The 2nd and 3rd platoon push towards the slopes of P404. I've also set up HMGs covering P373. Second and 3rd platoon set up at the base of the hill, and then I bring up 1st platoon with HMG support. Third company keep moving. 2nd platoon push further up the slope, whilst 1st platoon and the HMG support the move into the valley. We're 3 minutes in, and this is when I realise I have a major problem. My recoilless rifles navigate like vehicles. The team on my left are completely hemmed in, surrounded by untraversable rocks. The team on my right, they can't simply advance, so I'm trying to pick a route through the snowy maze. I have 3 armoured sound contacts, so Hapless has M5s, 2 of which appear to be covering my avenue of attack on the right flank. Unless I can find a route for my recoilless rifle on my right to get up the crest line, I have no medium range AT. With Hapless's M5 looking like it's set back in a strong reverse slope defence, unless I can goad him into bringing it forward, I shall have to attack down the slope across open terrain to try and get my AT infantry close. All I can do right now is try and reconcile my position on the slopes of P404 as my recoilless rifle trudges through the snow. I put some mortars onto the French on my left flank, but my blitzkrieg has turned into Schleppenkrieg. Hapless's French are starting to advance on my left, which is what I expected, but right now I'm stalled and all I can do is take pot shots to harass his push. On my right, I send a scout team forward from 2nd Squad, 1st Platoon to have a look over the crest, and a team from 1st Squad, 2nd Platoon onto the P404 objective. We're 7 minutes in, and my recoilless rifle team stops at some rocks. They aren't going any further forward on this route. It's from here my audacious plan quickly started to fall apart, and I had little choice but to push 1st Platoon and all of the support forward on my right flank. Hapless has his mortars dialed right into the slopes of the objective P404, and his forces on my left flank are advancing quickly. He's actually starting to turn the front and hem me in, exactly what I'd planned to do to him. I've been too slow trying to get my AT into position. On my right, HMGs that I pushed forward to try and start setting up a forward firebase come under heavy fire and withdraw. As Hapless lays down suppressive fire and flame onto P404, I recognise I'm going to take heavy casualties in any attack. Any push on the right will be against a reverse defence, and the hilltop is well covered. I'm going to have to come up with a different plan, which doesn't involve any AT. I can't push southeast. Hapless has the valley well covered, so my only avenue of attack is over P404 and the ridgeline to the northwest. I don't like going for a last minute objective push. It feels gamey, but I don't really have much choice. I'm going to sit in the positions I'm in, put in the odd probe onto P404 to try and get Hapless to expend as much mortar ammo as possible, then do a large scale push onto P404 and the ridgeline. It leaves me bunched up, my left flank weak, and it's far away from my original plan. But it's a plan. As time ticks on, it's pretty obvious what I'm doing, and I'm unintentionally giving Hapless time and space to manoeuvre. We're skipping forward. Hapless's great daily videos cover the blow by blow. We're now 10 minutes to go, and I decided to start my attack. I've broken down 2nd Platoon 3 Company, and they are going to advance to secure P404 first. My pistoleros are in the thick of it, as Hapless rains mortars down on the summit. On my right, 1st Platoon rush forward to try and provide additional suppressive fire and create a wider front. They crest and come under heavy fire, including an M5 at range. My right flank is getting mauled by the M5 and I pull them back. Meanwhile, I've pulled in my left flank to try and hold P373. It leaves some of my force attacking P404 exposed, but I'm trying to get them up the slope to minimise their exposure. Third and second platoon once again push up to try and take P404. As they crest, I come under heavy fire. I have nothing to match the M5 at range, and my only recourse is to try and push up onto the hilltop to try and find some elevation. On my left flank, now almost my front, we pepper armour with 81mm mortars in an attempt to damage some of the equipment. As the last couple of minutes count down, 2nd and 3rd platoon together with elements of their support HMGs push deeper onto the hilltop. I'm taking heavy casualties, but we have a hold. Then the M5 rolls into view and I don't have an answer. We tick over into an extra minute, but I have nothing left, and unsurprising, it's a major victory for Hapless and the French. My plan was focused on the 2 recoilless rifles and mobility, and being able to manoeuvre them. I made an assumption and didn't check. Foolish on my side, but we learn. I want to congratulate Hapless. It was a good win based upon a solid force selection and excellent manoeuvring and plan. Hopefully, if and when we face each other again, I can give him a bit of a better challenge than in this particular battle. Thank you all for watching. I have some more good stuff on the way, so stay safe and see you all again soon.